Hello, Mr. Joyce here. Hope you're all still safe and well. Today I'm going to show you how to solve algebraic equations. So you're going to need a pencil and a piece of paper and be ready to pause the video at certain points because I'm going to ask you some questions along the way. But first of all, a recap. A letter can be used in an algebraic equation to represent a missing number. This can be a set number depending on the equation or can be a variable. For example, 13 plus a equals 20. In this example, we need to work out what the a represents. In this case, it would be 7. Or when a number and letter are represented together, it means the number is multiplied by what the letter represents. So if the equation is 3a, that is the same as or equal to 3 multiplied by a. Let's have a look at an equation together. For this one, we can see that a equals 8 and b equals 6. What do you think the answer would be if you were given the following calculation? A plus b plus a. And is there any other way you could write this calculation to make it simpler? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so let's solve this equation. It's actually quite simple because all the values we need are there for us. We don't have to solve any missing numbers. So if we rewrite it as a number calculation, a is 8, add b, which is 6, and 8 again. And it's just a simple addition calculation. 8 plus 8 is 16, add the 6, 22. I did also ask, how else could you write this calculation as an equation? And the way we could do it is that we've got two a's of the same value. So we can put those together. That's just the same as saying 2 times a. 2 times 8 is 16. Add 6. And it still gives us the same answer, which is 22. Hopefully you understood that and it all makes sense. But before moving on, let's try some similar equations. For these ones, a equals 4, b equals 7, and c equals 2.5. There are 4 equations to solve. Pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through the answers shortly. Right, how did you get on? Hopefully really well, but let's double check our answers to make sure. So, a plus 12, so it's 4 plus 12 equals 16. We have a plus b, so 4 plus the value of b, which is 7, equals 11. We've then got 6 add b, we know b is the value of 7, so that's 13. And then our final one, b, which is 7, subtract c, which is 2.5. So it's slightly tricky because we're using decimals. And that answer is 4.5. Hopefully you did really well and you understood that. We're now going to have a go at some more equations, but this time where it involves multiplication. And remember, when you have a number next to a letter, for example 2a, that means it is that number multiply whatever the value of the letter is. The same goes if you have 2 letters next to each other, it will mean that value multiplied by that value. Let's have a go. For these questions, the value of a is 13, the value of b is 3, and the value of c is 5. Remember, if a number or a letter are next to each other, that means you need to multiply those to get your answer. Pause the video, have a go, and we'll go through the answers next. Okay, are you still with me? I hope so. Let's have a go through these answers and see how you did. Okay, for the first one, we have 4a. Remember, when the number's next to the letter, that means we need to multiply them. So it's 4 multiplied by a, which is 13. 4 times 13 is 52. Our next question was a and b. So a multiplied by b, so that is 13 times 3, which equals 39. Our third question said 3b, so it's 3 multiplied by b, which is also 3, and then it adds c, which is the value of 5. So 3 times 3 is 9, add 5 is 14. And our final question, we had 2 multiplications to do. We had a and b, which you already know, we've done it before, which was 39. Add c multiplied b, 3 times 5, which is 15. Put them together, and it gives us the answer 54. There we go. So we've learned how to do adding with equations and how to use multiplication in equations. I want to show you just one more type of question that you might come across. Right, this question is 2q add 4 equals 100. But unlike the other ones, we don't actually know the value of q. So it's our task to try and solve it. The best way to do that is to use inverse to start the answer and work backwards. Pause the video, have a go, see if you can solve it yourself, and then we'll go through the answer together. Okay, before we have a go at this tricky problem below, let's just try this one above. Again, we need to use inverse, and we don't know the value of the letter. That's what we're trying to solve. So I'm going to take the answer, which is 65, and rather than add 38, I'm going to subtract 38. Okay, let's work that one out. And the answer is 27. So that means I know that the value of A equals 27. So for this tricky problem below, again, we're going to need to work backwards using our inverse to solve it. So we're going to start with the answer, which is 100. Rather than add 4, I'm going to subtract 4, which is 96. And we know that we have a number and letter together, it means to multiply, but we are using inverse, so I'm going to divide. So I'm going to do 96 divided by 2, which means I need to half that number, and that is 48. So the answer to this problem is Q equals 48. Right, that's everything for today on algebra. Hopefully that's helped and it'll help with today's task. Good luck, have a go, and until next time, take care.